15% of Oklahomans have used a payday loan in the last 5 years, according to a recent study by the Pew Charitable Trusts. That figure is more than twice the national average. Most of the loans are made at storefront locations, but consumers are also getting loans from the internet. As ONR's Liz Exon found, some of those online lenders are located in Oklahoma, and they are facing legal action from the Federal Trade Commission.
The fridge broke.
We had to take Buddy to the vet.
My car wouldn't start. Again.
Commercials depict those using payday loans as having temporary, unexpected bills. Kate Ritchie of the Oklahoma Policy Institute says most Oklahomans using payday loans are not using them just occasionally.
Most loans, a majority of the payday loans that are issued in Oklahoma throughout the year go to borrowers who are chronic borrowers. That means they take out 12 or more loans in a year. So if you get paid once a month, that's every paycheck.
According to a July report issued by the Oklahoma Department of Consumer Credit, payday lenders issued more than 1 million loans last year, the highest total since 2008. The report also says payday lenders in Oklahoma issued loans totaling nearly $402 million. The companies, mostly storefront locations, assessed lenders nearly $54 million in finance charges. Stacy Turner goes to this payday loan storefront location on a regular basis. Her husband died a year ago, and she's raising their 11-year-old child by herself while working full-time.
I live from paycheck to paycheck.
Do you get a payday loan every month?
Every 2 weeks.
Car lot owner Greg Albright has been taking out a payday loan once a month because of extra expenses he incurred after separating from his wife at the first of the year.
You'll have a situation come up where you need to make 2 payments to one because you've been robbing from Peter to give to Paul and this, that, and the other. And so then all of a sudden, you need that short-term $500 and it's $65 and you just, to do it, and it's rather quick, and it's there, and it just gets you by till the next one, and you get it done, and hopefully you don't have to use it again.
Do you do it every month?
Oh, no. We do it maybe every other month.
Has it ever caused a problem for you that you couldn't pay it back?
No, we've always planned ahead. You have to plan ahead. If you don't, you'll get yourself in trouble quick.
Ritchie says while state law prohibits rollover loans at payday loan companies, it does permit people to have 2 open loans at different companies.
So it is possible under current law for someone to, when their payday loan comes up due, if they still don't have the money to pay it off, run across the street to another payday lender and get another payday loan to meet their obligations for the first payday loan. So that's something that needs to be fixed. If you only permit people to have 1 loan open at a time, that can reduce the harm or the debt trap, so to speak, that people find themselves in.
How underwater are you? Can you tell me?
Deep.
Leonard Chansey says he has taken out an additional loan from one company to pay his debt at another payday loan storefront. He describes himself as working poor with little chance of getting ahead.
And it's just a revolving door. You get paid and your money is not able to stretch, so you come to places like this to try to keep existing to the next week.
Ritchie says many Oklahomans find themselves in a similar debt trap.
So the annual percentage rate on a standard loan in Oklahoma, payday loan, is between 350% and 400% APR, whereas your standard credit card is, 10% maybe to 25%. So these are astronomically high rates in which to borrow money.
At Advance America, the fees charged for loans and the applicable APRs are prominently posted.
We show the customer exactly what they pay in terms of out-of-pocket dollar cost and that implied annualized percentage rate that's calculated as if the customer takes out the same $100 loan every 2 weeks for an entire year.
Jamie Fulmer is Vice President of Public Affairs for Advance America. He says the national company provides an important credit product to consumers whose financial alternatives may be much more costly than taking out a loan of one of their storefront businesses.
The customer who comes into our center, they're considering the $15 to pay for a $100 loan from Advance America, and they're balancing that with the $35 in overdraft fees they would pay for that same $100, or the $55 in bounce check fees they would pay if they bounced a check.
The customers we talked to say they clearly understand what their obligations are. And why would you choose a payday loan versus, let's say, a credit card?
This I can control if I need it for a week, if I need it for 2 weeks. I can take control and pay it back.
And we have a strong record of compliance. In fact, in Oklahoma specifically, I think we've had something like 4 complaints in the last year filed with our state regulator. And so that's a track record of compliance that we're very proud of and we think is important for the consumer.
Rick Brinkley of the Tulsa Better Business Bureau says they receive virtually no complaints about storefront payday loan companies, but he says in the last 3 years, complaints about some online payday loan companies have skyrocketed.
We've seen nearly 3,000 complaints on tribal payday loan companies. We have seen 1 complaint, I believe, on a traditional payday loan company.
Brinkley says consumer complaints about online payday loan companies sound similar.
When you talk to people who will actually say to you, I don't even know how I got this loan. I filled out a form online to see if I qualify, and the next thing I know, I have borrowed $300, I've paid back between $1,500 and $1,800, and I still can't get them to stop taking money out of my account, and I have lost everything.
Brinkley says complaints received at the Tulsa office have come from outside Oklahoma. People from across the United States who have taken out online payday loans from companies owned by the Modoc tribe and the Miami tribe, both located in the city limits of Miami. Newlywed Jessica Horner of New Mexico complained to the Tulsa BBB after taking out an online loan to help finance her wedding. She took out her loan with $500 fast cash.
I applied for a $200 loan, and they started taking out increments of $60 at every pay period, which for me is twice a month on the 10th and the 22nd. And then I was wondering, thought I was getting close to paying it off, so I went to go check my account with the $500 fast cash loan up place and realized that my balance was not going down, period.
Jessica discovered $500 fast cash was renewing her loan every month and charging additional fees instead of applying the payments to the principal. $500 fast cash is one of at least 3 online payday loan companies owned by the Modoc tribe. 3 other online payday loan companies are owned by the Miami tribe of Oklahoma. Brinkley says his investigators have encountered resistance.
So we called the respective tribal chiefs. We sent certified mail, no response. We followed up again, no response. We finally got a letter back from an attorney who said, mind your own business. This is a poor tribe trying to do economic development for its members.
Brinkley says while he is no fan of traditional storefront payday loan businesses, he thinks they are better than the alternative.
I would personally prefer to have storefront payday loan companies in this state with restrictive laws that are pretty limiting to what a consumer can get. Because if we do away with payday loan companies in this state, we are literally pushing the poor to these websites where they will be, in my opinion, completely taken advantage of.
The Federal Trade Commission has filed a lawsuit against the 2 tribes. Nikhil Singhvi is the FTC's attorney.
We filed the lawsuit because these defendants were operating a payday loan enterprise that told consumers that their loans would charge a certain amount and then ultimately charged those consumers many multiples of the amount stated. The relationship between this payday loan business and the tribes, the Modoc and the Miami tribe, and there's another tribe in Nebraska called the Santee Sioux, that's very much in dispute, and the relationship we say is a facade. The business at its core is owned and managed by 9 non-tribal personnel.
Such a lawsuit will likely bring up issues of sovereign immunity. Attorney Michael McBride practices Indian law.
Now, sovereign immunity means a protection of a government against unconsented lawsuits. And generally, the case law on that for Indian tribes is that they remain immune to suit except by consent or by a law of Congress that says that they can be sued.
But he says case law has shown tribes are not protected from the Federal Trade Commission.
For purposes of this federal lawsuit, the supposed tribal connection doesn't even matter. The federal government has authority to regulate tribal business with non-tribal consumers nationwide. So even if you had a bona fide tribal operation, the FTC would still sue in cases where the loans were deceptively stated, and the court would still consider our case. The tribes are taking the position that these are their loans, and if that's the case, then they're proper defendants and they need to answer for the way they've designed these documents and the way that they've deceived all the consumers.
We went to the Modoc tribal headquarters to get a response. I was wanting to do an interview with the chief or someone from the tribe about the tribe's business relationship with MTE Financial, Cash Advance Network, Instant Cash USA, and 500 Fast Cash.
Well, due to litigation with the FTC and stuff, we can't have any comments on any of those.
After several attempts to reach the Miami Nation, we were told to submit questions in writing and that they may respond in the coming weeks. The federal lawsuit against the tribes will be heard in court after the first of the year.